What's up, everybody? Brotrio here, and Sword and Shield trailer has got us feeling that Poke hype, so we decided to do a top 10 Pokemon for every region. We've already done Kanto, so go find that and watch it if you want to. But right now, we're covering Johto, which is my favorite gen of Pokemon. I think most of the designs were just fantastic, and it introduced us to about 100 new Pokemon, but we had to narrow it down to our 10 favorites. So here are the top 10 Pokemon from the Johto region. Keep in mind, our top 10s are averaged between the three of us, so we fought a little bit, and some of our actual favorites didn't end up on this list, but that's just how the averaging works, and it's the fairest way we could think of to make top 10s like this. And yeah, so let's get going with our top 10 Pokemon from Johto. Starting off with the best of the beasts, we have Suicune. He is definitely one of the more elegant and beautiful Pokemon ever made. He's got hair going all the way down his back and all kinds of little tendrils everywhere. I'm making him sound like a squid, but he's not. He's an awesome ice-type dog thing, and honestly, he's one of the more appealing designs of any legendary.
Yeah, I really like his design. I also like the mythos behind him, how it said that Suicune can purify any water it touches just by touching it, and it just does it instantly, and it's just really cool to think of that he's out there bettering humanity, cleansing all the water in the world for everybody in the Pokemon world. One of the best grass starters is Chikorita. She has, I say she because it's almost like a given that it's a female because it's got a very feminine design.
And the anime kind of led to that.
Yeah, it was a girl in the anime. But so Chikorita's a she from henceforth for this video's purposes. But Chikorita just had such a great design to her. She was like this adorable little pear with a leaf on her head with little buds around her neck. And then she evolves into Bayleaf, which is little kind of, a good mid-evolution. But then Meganium is... I don't care for Meganium as much. I think it looks way better as the first and second, and first is the best because Chikorita is just flat out adorable. She's great. She's grass type. She was like the most challenging type to pick in Gen 2 because you had to deal with flying first, which was not good for Chikorita. But she was just full of gumption. She is adorable in the anime, adorable in the games, and I picked her my first playthrough of Silver, and I loved her ever since. She's a great Pokemon, but not the best.
How do you make a 15-foot rock snake even better? Give him a metal coat and turn him into Steelix. It was really, really cool seeing Onix get an evolution. It was kind of weird that it didn't happen in the previous game, but it's fine, because metal coats weren't there. And Steelix has a really odd combo, because Steel Ground seems like it wouldn't be that great, but I loved Steelix so much. Just his design, he looks formidable. Like, he is a scary-looking Pokemon.
And I mean, come on, they're completely immune to poisoning.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a great way to introduce the new Steel typing by giving it a poster child of this awesome evolution of Onix.
Another Gen 1 Pokemon that put on a shiny new coat in Gen 2 was Scyther. He turned himself into Scizor, turned into my favorite color from green to red, and Scyther was always one of the coolest bug types, and he definitely maintained that with Scizor.
And Scizor's sweet.
Yeah, he lost, from what I recall, he lost some speed, but he made up for it in power and defense. And having a bug Pokemon with decent defense is just never heard of. It's not a good type. But mixing it with Steel, I think made for a pretty decent typing. Opposed to the 4 times weakness to fire, but that's what dual types normally do, is you're 4 times weak to at least one thing.
But the general stats made it way better of a Pokemon, and you couldn't get them early in the game, so they were late game, so it was really good that they made their stats pretty much awesome. And it was a great way to cap off your adventure in Johto and then move on to Kanto next. Moving off of Steel type to the other new type, Dark type. There's no one better to represent this typing than an Evolution, and Umbreon is by far my favorite Evolution. He's a lot of people's favorite because he has such a sleek design. It's simple yet effective with his rings all over him and like just his jet black fur. He's very cool looking.
I like how subtle the shiny is too. It just turns the rings blue.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it was just like a really cool way to introduce new mechanics to like players, because the day-night cycle was a brand new mechanic, and so was the friendship evolving mechanic. And Eevee had both of those. If you do it and your best friends in the day, he evolves into Espeon, and then at night he evolves into Umbreon, and he is just so cool looking. He's got pretty good stats too, and he's one of the few pure dark types, especially in Gen 2, and he's a worthy asset to have just for that new typing and for that new evolution.
Starting off the top 5, we have Lugia. One of the most unique looking legendaries because he's some kind of weird seal bird with hands for wings. But he's awesome. He's so sleek and just looks like you take one look at him and he's definitely a legendary Pokemon in front of you. Like, he's the boss bird. Like, everything has to do what he says, basically.
Yeah. I mean, he lives in an underground cave, even though he's not water type. It's weird. It's like Lord of the Ocean or some crap.
Yeah, that is a little odd with the typing, but
that's fine. He featured like heavily in the second Pokemon movie, where he bossed around Moltres, Articuno, and Zapdos, and that was pretty cool. Lugia, he just exemplifies what a legendary should be. He's intimidating, but also like graceful, and he's definitely a friggin' powerhouse, and you can't do much better for a title legendary than Lugia. Combining my favorite type with a brand new type could have only worked out well for me. And throw that into a badass Hellhound, and you've got Houndoom. Houndoom is one of the simplest but best Pokemon designs that is out there, in my opinion. He looks very intimidating, but also looks like you want to pet him. He's got bones all over him because he's Cerberus with only one head. And he's got really cool lore behind him, because if he burns you, that burn hurts the rest of your life.
Yeah, it stays with you. Like, I couldn't imagine getting burnt by a Houndoom when I'm 5 and then I'm 50 and I still just like feel it. I'm just like, it burns.
Just imagine like the pet that like Darth Vader would have, and that's Houndoom. That's Darth Vader's dog. Not to mention he's got a sweet Mega Evolution, and look, I love Houndoom so much. I start Fire type every time. I just had to have a second Fire type when I found him because he's such a glorious dog.
It would not be a respectable Pokemon top 10 without a pseudo-legendary on the list. And Tyranitar is definitely one of the better ones of any generation, let alone Generation 2. Tyranitar is just such a monster with his really unique Rock Dark typing. I mean, he's just crazy because, one, he looks straight up like Godzilla, so it's really weird he's not Dragon type. But he has such like a vast move pool and a crazy looking Mega Evolution. Tyranitar just brings the power with every move he does. And his lore is not too bad either, because it's said that Tyranitar can reshape the landscape by like taking steps or something that cause earthquakes all the time. It just sounds like it would make like Johto a living hell if you live in a cave where Tyranitar lived by. And Tyranitar just, I mean, he's a late evolution, but definitely worth the time to get him on your team.
We've finally gotten to the one fire starter that these two Jamooks actually like, so they didn't screw over in my average. Quilava is number 2. Not Cyndaquil. He's cute, but no.
Cyndaquil's adorable.
Cyndaquil's adorable. Quilava is a good mix of badass looking and cute. Typhlosion, I'm not a huge fan of the design. He looks scary, but that's about it. Like, if I saw one in the woods, I'd run. But I'm not the hugest fan of Typhlosion. Quilava, amazing. Perfectly designed. One of the best middle evolutions ever crafted.
Yeah, it really is.
Now, he looks a little weird with his 3D models when his flames aren't on.
Yeah, I really hate that. Like, his flames should always be there. Otherwise, he just looks like a bean.
Yeah, but when that Mohawk comes out, you know it's time for business, and he is gonna bring the pain.
Definitely one of the scariest water starters for Alligator is just a force to be reckoned with. Like, Totodile is cute. He is so cute.
He's got a personality that like any like Pokemon trainer could want from the anime at least.
Yeah.
And then
Croconaw is just one of the best, like... the middle evolutions were all great in Gen 2, but Quilava is probably the best middle evolution. Croconaw is definitely second best.
Yeah, Croconaw's up there.
Because that's like a perfect bridge of the gap.
For Alligator is just fierce, he's fast, and you just don't want to mess with him.
Yeah, he's a feral gator. I mean, he's...
It's in his name.
Horrifying.
He's just a giant alligator spouting water at you. It's ridiculous, and one of the best designs for any starter ever, in my opinion.
Yeah, not to mention his massive move pool. Like, he can learn water moves, fighting moves, dark moves, all kinds of moves. Feraligatr is just one of those Pokemon that he's so good, he makes other people's allegiances change. Because when I go replay Gen 2 games, I don't pick Chikorita, I pick Totodile every time because Feraligatr is just so freaking amazing. And that is why he is our #1 Johto Pokemon.
Well, that was our top 10 list for Johto Pokemon. I hope you guys liked it. If you did, we would appreciate a subscribe and a like, or just a subscribe, or just a like. Any mix of the two. If you didn't like it, dislike it, that's your opinion. It's whatever. It happens.
Leave a comment if you want to.
Yeah, leave a comment. Tell us how stupid we are. Insult our families. Whatever you want to do. Just know that this is our opinion, and your opinion is yours, and that's okay too. Well, we'll see you next time. See you later, Feraligatrs.